I'm Scott Al Miller. It's the 27th of April, 2023. This is my vlog of daily life living in León, Nicaragua, and today we're going to tell the story of the giant power outage that you saw on an earlier video. We're going to talk about Kim coming to visit us here in Nicaragua. We're going to talk a little bit about how we handle power and stuff down here, all while it's 100 degrees out. I'll see you after the bump. It is a full 100 degrees today. This is the hottest week of the year, as I was told by the fire department today, and we feel it. Right now I'm soaked, but not because I'm sweating. I knew it was really, really hot, and I put my hat in water, and so when I threw it on, it dripped all over me. And it's gonna help keep me cool for a little bit. I have a little bit of a breeze out here, but it is 100, and I've done multiple videos today, none for this channel, but I've been outside absolutely cooking in the sunlight. So right now it's not too bad, but I've been in full sun in the 100 degrees. Right now we got a little bit of cloud, so it's not that bad. But today is the 27th. So real quick, I'm gonna tell a little bit about what happened yesterday with the power outage. Some of you saw I did some videos where I was out walking around because the power was out. The 26th is actually the day that happened. I wanted to tell all this yesterday. Honestly, I just forgot while doing the videos and missed it. So today I'm gonna be talking about it. We got up this morning on the 27th and the power was still out. So we were in a bit of a panic because it has been really tough to do anything. So yesterday, the power went out at 9 o'clock in the morning. It took us a long time to find out what was going on. That's why I was out for a walk, not knowing what was happening. It turns out that the power substation at Guadalupe, which is the main power substation here for León, blew a transformer and the whole thing just went wah, wah, wah. So this was a major repair effort, the kind of thing that does take several days in the United States as well. This is not a problem with Nicaragua. Sometimes you just lose a substation. This happened to be one of those times. So the whole city was dark, and that includes the city water pumping station. So the city was out of water, making it an emergency, which does turn up the heat quite a bit, and they do get these things fixed pretty quickly, but this was a major outage. So we weren't sure what to do, and we spent the entire day without power, and it's very hot. So I spent a lot of that time out walking, trying to get best uses I could of the time. Of course, I'm super stressed out because I'm not able to work, I'm not able to see what's going on, and devices are dying left and right. We don't have air conditioning, we don't have fans, and pretty early in the day, we no longer had phones or anything. So this was pretty rough. Now, Paul and Dominica, on the 26th, luckily we're doing the shopping for the month in Managua, so they weren't noticing the power outage most of the day. They were charging devices in the car, they were doing okay. For the kids and I, we were dying here at the house. While I was out doing the long walk, I'm going to show this now, had some fire trucks came flying past me, heading towards the house, freaked me out. I'm like, oh no, the power came back on, maybe there was a gas leak or whatever. We had celebrated Luciana's birthday last night, and we had a small gas leak while doing that. Of course, we're open air, so it's not really that scary, but I'm like, what if it was like leaking gas and the power came on and it sparked and something blew? So I was panicking because power outages and gas, that's when you end up with explosions or whatever. But I didn't see it, I didn't hear anything. I was not so far away. Like if the house blew up, I should have heard it, but I was worried. So I hoofed it pretty fast trying to get back, and then I discovered the fire trucks all at a friend's house, and I'm like, oh no, it's their house that blew up. So I ran up and talked to him, and it turned out that it's a mission group, and I hope I'm gonna get the details right and I'll show the guys, but it was a couple of guys in from Guatemala. One of them had like camera gear, and shout out to them. I'm using the same equipment that I do when I'm doing DSLR stuff. Had the Nikon 3300, Brian at the beach has the 3400, and I use the 3500. They're all same sensor, and they were doing photographs and doing some training, and some guys are in from North Carolina, and they were helping do training on the dump and pumps, which is when they basically make an above ground pool really quickly and fill it with city water, and then use that to pump onto a fire scene because you don't have enough flow from the fire hydrants to handle the volume that the pumpers can pump. So they were training on that stuff and practicing, so I got some cool shots of that. They welcomed me to stay, and the guys from the US recognized me from the YouTube channel, so that's awesome. Shout out to you guys. And so I stayed for a little bit. It was so hot and I needed to get back to the kids, and I was worried that the power was back on and I needed to work. So I was doing all that. So it was a very crazy day. Once I got home and it got to be evening, Paul and Dominica got home, we realized the power was probably not coming back on that evening. So we ended up going to our friend Jazzy and Thia's house so that the kids could go swimming and cool down, which helped a lot. They had nothing, they couldn't do anything all day. It was going to get dark and we weren't going to do anything. They had power. That side of town got power back. And because they had a pool, they didn't need water necessarily. So they were able to swim and stay cool and relax. I was able to do some video editing, but they don't have enough bandwidth on their internet for me to upload the video. So I had it ready. And that is why a week ago when you had the video, it was late by several hours. That's because we had to wait until the 27th when the power came back on, and I was able to upload it pretty quickly from the house. So this morning, the morning of the 27th, we were out. We decided we had to run across town and find somewhere to go that would have power. So we were heading to the east side of town to go work from there. And it was about 10 o'clock. We had given it some time, but we were over 24 hours. At the 25-hour mark, as we're driving across town to deal with it, Dominica texted us and said the power's back on. So we turned around and came home, and I had a frantic day of working. So today was just absolute panic, trying to catch up, trying to get the upload up for you guys. It's like the first one that we were actually late on. There's one or two that I've messed up that I like scheduled it wrong, but we had it all done and like 7 o'clock rolled around and I went, why isn't it there? But this is the first time that we actually didn't manage to upload it in time. Lots of times we don't manage to do the thumbnails, but we did miss getting this one uploaded. But I did have it made. I've never missed having it made, but I did miss getting it uploaded so you could see it right at 7 o'clock. So I apologize for that. I tried really hard. We made it more than a year continuous without missing a single 7 o'clock upload. So I think that's quite an accomplishment on its own. So that was that part of the crazy day. Now for Kim's crazy day. Today, my friend Kim from Dallas, Texas is coming down to visit us here in Nicaragua. She is supposed to be catching a Spirit flight in the middle of the afternoon out of Dallas, going to fly to Fort Lauderdale, where she will have a layover, and then she will fly down to Managua, at which point Leo is going to pick her up and bring her out to the beach. Exactly the same thing that happened to Alan and Rachel and I in 2019. There was bad weather in Fort Lauderdale and her flight was canceled. She went to the airport, waited until super late. We're like, it's been delayed. And I said, it's been delayed past the time. You're hours after your flight to Managua will have left Fort Lauderdale. She's like, yeah, they're telling me I've already missed it. There's no other flights. So she got her flight canceled and was unable to come today. So that was our big plan, was that tomorrow was going to be a day to hang out with Kim on the beach. So we're already disrupted that we lost power. Now I don't have enough time to get work done. Now I don't have any free time. That kind of actually worked out that I really don't have time on the 28th to hang out with Kim. So she's not going to be here on the 28th. So I don't have to worry about that. I can work all day, but that's what happened to her. So we're hoping she can get it rescheduled. They gave her a flight for tomorrow, but the weather is expected to be the same. So we don't know how that's going to go. Find out about that in the future. Now, because we had such an extended power outage, I know people are always asking, what do you do about power outages in Nicaragua? And we have videos that we just did about that last week or a few days ago. And one of the things I said though is we picked up, for us, because we really do depend on it and a full day of outage is a major problem. So we picked up this gasless generator, this Duracell giant UPS unit, super heavy, really big. It can handle a lot of power. It takes like a day or two to actually fully charge up. Paul picked that up while I was in Managua knowing this outage was going on. And I got that hooked up today. As soon as the power came back on, I put it in place, started charging it. I'm hooking other UPSs up into it. And really, I think that's going to be a great solution, that it's more than the regular small UPSs. We're going to put the critical stuff on that. That's going to give us like most of a day. And this is 25 hours was an unprecedented outage. Never had anything like that. And they did such a good job getting it back on. We could have gone across town. There's all kinds of ways you can mitigate being out of power. And really, you just have to think it through. Like, what would I do? Have a few things. We could put in an actual generator and have unlimited fuel or unlimited power with however much fuel we want to go purchase for it. But that's a little bit too much. It's too much to deal with. You got to hook it into the grid of the house. We are going to add solar to this Duracell unit. It has a plug-in for solar, which will keep it charged. We won't be able to run everything in the house off of it. It's not that big, but it will allow us to keep the computer running, charge phones, keep the internet up. And for us, that's all we really need. As long as we have that, we're functional with the rest of the things. And I think for most people, that's enough. So a little bit of this kind of stuff. I've never seen someone in the US get this kind of unit. They always just go to a hotel or something. And you can do that here too. But I think with this, it seems like it's going to be a really good solution for the most part. And you can get more than one of them and put them in series and bring it up even a little bit more. It is definitely 100 degrees out here. So that is what happened. That is what's going on. You got to hear about the fire department, all that stuff. It was an interesting day, way too hot Today's crazy. Thanks for joining me. Remember to like and subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/ScottAllenMiller. If you'd like help with relocation, want to learn more about Nicaragua, need one-on-one consulting, and I'm hurrying because I need to go meet Arthur for a one-on-one right as it speaks. So Arthur, if you see this, I'm going to be a minute late, even though you'll see this a week later, but I was thinking of you as I recorded it. You can send me an email at info@relocatenicaragua.com. I'd love to sit down and chat with you, talk about relocation options, help with whatever you need. We are putting together an entire resource package for people who are interested in learning more, maybe not actually ready to move, but just need that guidance of things to consider or what they need to know. And of course, share on social media, tell your friends, post online. There's an ant on my lens again, and scroll down, just take a moment, go down. If you don't have a question, if you don't have a comment, say hi. Say, great episode, like the camera work. Thanks for standing out in 100 degrees to get us this information. And if you do have a question, you do have a comment, definitely leave it and see what other people are saying. Start talking to them. We have this amazing community who is so friendly and willing to talk to each other. And a lot of people are here in Nicaragua. A lot are from Nicaragua but live abroad. A lot are abroad and are interested in potentially moving to Nicaragua. Some just want to know more about it. It's a great community. Thank you for joining me. I will see all of you tomorrow.